Hello there. Today, let's talk about the hardest step in planning out a research paper, choosing a topic. We've got quite a bit to unpack with this topic, so let's dive in. We've all been there. You've been given an assignment to write a research paper on the topic of your choice with a few parameters. Maybe your topic needs to connect to a current event or debate. Maybe it needs to incorporate theories or ideas that have come up in one of your classes. You might feel like you don't have enough to go on because you have so many options to choose from. That's where this guide comes in. The next time you're asked to work on a research paper, you're going to be ready with the concept mapping toolkit I'm going to outline for you today. Here's how it works. Think about the subject that you're interested in for your class project. I'm going to outline two different approaches for you which might work better for you depending on the project and on your learning style. For this first method, let's grab a piece of notebook paper and a pen. I want you to write out the broad topic of your project in the center of the paper and then circle it. Next, we're going to branch off from that central bubble and write out a series of questions. What is it about this topic that interests you specifically? What would you like to know more about? What other topics would you like to connect this central topic to? Each of these questions has the potential to become the core of your research paper, depending on how focused the question is and how much information you can find to answer those specific questions. This method works best when you already know a fair bit about your topic, or if you're interested in the subject and want to explore in a few different directions. The main downside to this approach is that there's really nothing to keep you inside the guardrails when it comes to how specific your topic is. You might end up with a topic that is so vague and so broad that you'd have to write a book to answer the question that you came up with. Or you might end up with a topic that's so specific and focused that you won't find any scholarly research to interact with. Our second method helps to dial in the focus of your topic by working in comparisons. This is a powerful method because it's usually just specific enough to ensure that you have a focused research question without being so specific that you won't find any scholarly work to engage with. Let's start with an example. If I wanted to do research on the topic of current United Nations peacekeeping missions, for instance, that would become the main bubble in my concept map. I'd next do a general search to find categories of ongoing peacekeeping missions that I can work with. What themes group those missions together? Let's say that we notice a trend among UN peacekeeping missions. Many are interventions in ongoing civil wars. By narrowing my focus to just this subset of things, this more specific group, I've allowed my topic to become focused and avoided allowing it becoming too vague. The same can be said for focusing on ongoing UN peacekeeping missions. Defining my timeline as presently active makes my topic more specific and keeps the scope under control. Next, I'm going to think about what sorts of questions I can ask about the smaller group of things that I've just collected. I might compare how the UN is managing peacekeeping missions in different parts of the world. I might look at why the UN intervened in specific conflicts. I might consider what is causing a difference in the outcomes of two different peacekeeping missions. Do you see what I've done there? I want to keep my topic focused, so I'm limiting myself to two peacekeeping missions. I need that comparison between things that are otherwise similar, so I'm only working with current missions that involve the same type of objective, interventions in ongoing civil wars. For this comparison to shine, it's very important that I'm comparing two things that are otherwise the same. A UN relief mission after a natural disaster and a peacekeeping mission during an armed conflict are very likely different things, so the comparisons that I want to make are harder to prove. It's just like running a science experiment with more than one variable. It makes our work harder and the results less certain. Once you've mapped out your topic, determine which of the questions that you've asked fits the assignment best. Make your favorite among these your working research question and delve into the databases to see what scholars are saying about your topic. Once you have a general working research question, you'll want to delve into the databases to see how much information you have to work with. This leads to an important next step. If you find that there is too much information, you'll need to narrow your research question down and make it more specific. If you find that there's not enough information, you'll need to broaden your search terms or your research question to make it less specific. After you decide on your research question, it can be helpful to map out the types of information that you'll be looking for. This is especially true when you're working on a long research paper that you expect to have more than one section, or to fill more than a few pages in which you expect to have a few different sections. You'll want to think about the different types of evidence that you'll gather as part of your research, and the questions that each type of material might answer. It's often difficult to do this before reading several sources because you won't be sure what people are talking about in connection to your topic. Building out this kind of scaffolding will make your research project much easier to manage if you end up with a large number of sources. It's also a great way to use Zotero to the fullest. For more on Zotero in large-scale research projects, click on the video linked in the description. And that's it. You should now feel more confident in your ability to land on a good working research question for your next research project. Feel free to browse the other videos in our collection to improve your research skills even more.